my gosh, this is my first drawing stream. I didn't even know that people did this until I got a Twitch, and then I was like, oh, I gotta do this. So I'm doing it. I don't know. Hi. Hi. So I was gonna work on something that was like a little cooler. I have this big drawing of eyes that I work on, usually like when I go live on Instagram. But I'm like in the zone with this one right now. So I'm working on it, and you guys, like, you're welcome. Probably can't tell, but this is a shirt or like maybe a sweater. I don't really know, but that's what I'm doing. And I just like was really excited. Like, I just got this cam link today, and I was like, man, now's the time. I gotta start streaming like right now. I'm also kind of nervous because I don't know like what to even talk about. Like, no one's here, so I don't have anyone to talk to. Uh, that's fine. I'll talk to myself. It, um, yeah, I don't know. I was going to talk about the weather, and then I was like, that's stupid. I don't want to do that. I also, another motivation for working on this right now is I just like really want to get past this phase. I really did think of like other textures to do for this shirt. Like, I thought about a pattern, but I couldn't find one I liked. And I thought about like line, like cross hatching or something, but I just did that in my last one. Love stippling, but at the same time, it's just a plain black shirt. So I'm looking forward to getting to the part of this drawing where there's like a lot more going on. Like, this is still part of the shirt, but this is her skin, and there's like a face. Anyway, I was like, the more I work on this, the sooner it'll be done. I took a whole afternoon off to work on this, and then I kind of didn't work on it as much as I wanted because then I got an idea for a TikTok, and I spent like an hour doing that. I know. And then I was supposed to go meet someone for coffee at 3. And like, you know that scene in Seinfeld where they set George up with an interview for 2 p.m.? Like, that's my whole afternoon. That's how I felt. But then the girl canceled. So I didn't have to do that. And that's why I'm here instead. Sorry if you just heard me gulping. I feel like I can't work on something or relax unless I have something to sip on. I've always been like this. Like, when I was little and my mom would try to hang out with me, I, uh, my mom would like, she'd be like, let's just have a lazy day. Like, let's just chill and like work on stuff or read. And like, I could not get comfortable. I would have to keep getting up and getting something to drink. So I made myself this ice water with lime in it. Oh, it makes me seem really healthy, but it's really just because I think water is so boring. And I'm glad I made it because it's hot in here. Ugh. Okay. I didn't mean that to look sexual. Um, Also, like, I was thinking about this while I was making my water, but like, is it weird that I don't really care about washing stuff off before? Like, I don't wash fruit really? Is that bad? Like, I always thought it was kind of one of those things your parents tell you you're supposed to do or you'll die, and then like, and then, like, you grow up and you're like, oh, that's not true. Then like someone came over the other day and they were like, oh my God, wait, I gotta wash these strawberries off. And I was like, do you? I didn't say anything because I felt like they think I was weird. And thank you. I'm so glad you checked out my Instagram. I'm trying to like figure Instagram out. Like, there was a point where I really felt like that my page was growing and I was getting like good feedback and a lot of like interactions. But lately it's just been dropping off, and I'm trying not to let that like get to me. Like I'm trying to not let it affect my like motivation to post and stuff, but it's kind of like annoying where it's like I'll post something and it gets like, I don't know, like it gets like 30 like views or exposure, likes or whatever. Um, yes and no for self-taught. I've been interested in drawing since I was a little kid. Like I started drawing when I was like 4, and I got myself to a certain point that way. And then I applied to VCU Arts and got in. So I went to art school and I learned some techniques there. But the weird thing about VCU Arts is that you don't get to choose your focus. You don't get to choose like your major. They have you do like freshman year and then you make a portfolio and they put you in a program. So I wanted um, communication arts because that was more illustration focused, but I got placed into photography and I had the opportunity to like appeal that decision. But I mean, I was like 19, like I felt like the university probably knows better than I do, and this is a great opportunity to learn something new. So I majored in photography, um, picked up a few techniques there, but didn't really learn anything that helped me as like a illustrator. And then after I graduated, I don't know, I kind of lost interest in photography. I kind of lost interest in photography while I was in school, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't think it's my passion. I don't know. So I guess I'd, I guess I'd call myself self-taught. No one like sat down with me and told me like this is the right way to do it or anything like that. But I did learn what stippling was in a high school art class. I don't know, it would have taken me a lot longer to start doing it if I hadn't taken that art class. But for the past couple years, I've really been trying to develop my style and my skill more. If you looked at like some of my past work, even as recent as like 2019, it's a lot less detailed. It's like more minimal. And I still really like that work, but I feel like I'm kind of growing from that and not really making work that looks like that anymore. Exciting. I mean, it makes me a little bit sad sometimes because I had such a large body of work, and now when I look at it, I'm like, it doesn't like resonate with me the same way. Okay. But I'm excited for this portrait. It's inspired by my friend Paula, who is, among other things, a really talented musician. And I wanted to make a portrait that's all about like how much we love and revere talent in the music industry and just what it feels like when you're listening to someone sing when they're good at it. And so, what this one's all about, not that you can tell right now because I'm just stippling her shirt, but it is kind of relaxing to do. And it's like immensely satisfying. Every time I post like progress, the comment I get most often is like, I don't know how you have the patience, or like, could never. Honestly, I feel like anyone could because feel good. It keeps me in the moment. Like I was saying earlier, I would have a hard time relaxing because I would always be like getting up to try to make it perfect. Like, oh, I need to open the window. I need to get a drink. I need to change my outfit. I need to readjust my seat. Like when I'm doing this, all of that like background noise in my mind kind of goes away and I can just focus on what I'm doing. doing it a little differently this time too. In other portraits that or other things I've stippled, I would group it by shade. So the last one I did, like I would have just done this whole dark part first. Sorry, my nails are not done. And then I would have done the whole light part first. And I would have also like done it directionally. Because I don't know if you can tell, but right here is like her boob, and then here is like where it's gonna go into like her waist. So I would have stippled like with the curvature, but I wanted to get like a slightly different kind of texture. So I went through with a ruler. You can barely see the lines, but I took a ruler and a pencil and I just did like a bunch of really close together straight lines. And then instead of stippling like all the dark parts and then all the light parts, I'm just going down in a line. And I actually think that's making this go by faster because I can see, I don't know, it's like more organized. And also, it's pretty satisfying because I can see exactly how much progress I'm making. I started in the middle for some reason and then worked out on either side. I didn't want to start over here. I didn't want to start over there because, like, right here is where her hand is, and I haven't totally figured out how I'm going to proportion that. So I started in the middle, did as much as I could. Um, I don't feel like trying to move my camera right now. This is my first stream. I'm not super like confident that if I move this camera, I'll get it back. But there's like a piece of her shoulder over there that I got done today. So really, I'm more than halfway done with this shirt, which is exciting. Well, okay, let me start back up here. Kind of starting in the middle because here is where I have her hair falling. And I want to wait until I actually draw in her hair before I get it all the way up to her hair. Because it's happened to me before where I like want to change something about like the placement of something and I can't because there's stipples in the way. So I just want to avoid that. Draw the hair first and then add in those last details. Doing dark stipples more than light stipples. Kind of hard to match the light stipples to each other. Like over here, see? I didn't really know what I was gonna do, so that's why it's like a little more, you can see the lines more, and then over here it's a lot smoother. Like I really started hitting my stride over here. So it's like I like streaming and making videos, but I'm also like, sometimes I just like to not talk. So I'm like, this is gonna be an interesting stream. I don't know. It's like it doesn't make me uncomfortable sitting quietly with people. I don't know. I don't know if that's the best thing for Twitch, but I don't care because I feel like doing it. I'm gonna do it. But at the same time, I don't want people to just be like, what the hell is this? Why isn't she saying anything? But I don't want to make like small talk. I guess I could talk about this project. I kind of hate talking about what I'm working on because I kind of feel like um I feel like it makes me sound like I'm like up my butt, you know? Like I feel like it almost sounds like I'm trying to brag because it's like I'm proud of my work and I'm really excited about it. But some people, when you're talking about things that you're like proud of and excited about, they take it the wrong way and they think that you're like trying to show off. I know not everyone's like that, but enough people I know are like that that I just kind of assume the worst, hope for the best. You know? Like there's been so many times when I've been like really excited to tell someone like good news or whatever. And like in my head, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like, I'm so happy for you. I know that's been stressing you out. Like, congrats. And instead, they're like, oh, that's cool. So, anyway, and then they just change the subject. And I'm just like, oh, I thought that warranted more than one reaction. Like in my head, this was going to be something we talked about for like like half an hour, maybe 5 minutes. And then it's like this, it's over, and I don't get to like bask in my happiness. So that's why I feel weird talking about my own projects. Like, I had an idea for like a graphic novel that I've also been working on. I'm trying to keep that more like private because I don't know how long it's gonna take. And I've also never done anything like that before, but I have attempted. Like, I had an idea for a graphic novel like maybe 3 years ago, and I started like I started doing like character development for it and like thinking about what I wanted panels to look like. And I was talking to people about like how does publishing work? Like, what do you, how, how do you think about things like paper? Like, what is the culture around graphic novels? And then some other stuff came up. And when I revisited the idea, like when I was able to sit down with the idea again, I was like, oh, I don't like this idea anymore. Like, this sounds dumb to me now. Excuse me. Like the plot that I had. And so I guess I also try to avoid talking about it because I'm like, what if I decide I hate this idea and I don't work on it anymore? I don't want people to be like, wow, so you're just one of those people who can't commit to anything and just says you're going to do something and never does it. Why was I talking about that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I had a new idea for a graphic novel like I don't know, maybe 8 months ago or something. And I've been like working on it more and developing it more. And I told a friend about it, and she was like, Ash, like, what's it about? Tell me. And I got like all sweaty and so nervous to say like what my idea was because I was like, oh my God, like, what if I start saying this out loud and it sounds stupid because I had never said it out loud to anyone. I had only even like written it down to say to like to brainstorm a couple times. Like, so I was really nervous. But then when I did say it out loud, it didn't sound dumb to me. And I can't tell if they thought it was cool or if they were just like being nice. Either way, thank you to them for being supportive. But yeah, it's just crazy how like I feel so confident about my work until I have to talk about it. And then I'm like, nah, you can just look at it. I'll just show it to you when it's done. I have this light, but I feel like it should be dark, but I don't want to go over it. It never, in my opinion, looks good when I go over stipples. I feel like it just looks messy. And if they get too dense, like they won't match the rest, like the texture will look wrong. So I'll just try to gradually darken it. Can't really try not to go too fast. Tell the difference. Well, maybe you can't. I'm looking at it on the screen and it's not as obvious, but it's like there when I go too fast, there's bigger spaces in between the stipples, and I don't want there to be big spaces. I actually have like phobia. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like fear of swarming things, like things all on top of each other, like really grosses me out. And sometimes when I think about like all the stipples that I'm making, it creeps me out a little bit. Like it doesn't feel possible that I'm sitting here making like billions of these little spots or millions. Like one time I counted just how many I made in like 10 seconds or something, and it was like, well, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it right now. Okay. I wish I'm gonna make a timer. Oh, there's a timer right here. Okay. I'm gonna start at 41:30. I can't count out loud. Okay, so that was 35, and that was me going slow so I could try to count it. 35 of these dots in 10 seconds, and I've been doing this, working on this for like 20 hours. Like that's so I was just trying to see what I look like right now. I should probably try to like not do this deal. Like what's going on? I think there's one person here. Hope you're having a cool day. My day's been okay. The fun part about clothes though is getting like the folds in them. And I was kind of worried like right at the beginning when all I had was like this part, it looked so stupid to me. And I was like, this is not going to play off well. Like, it's not going to look like the wrinkles in clothes. It just looks like a weirdo line or whatever. But now that I can see more of it, it's coming out. So I'm glad I stuck with it because I really did almost like go over the whole thing, like just color it in. And I also almost just started this whole thing over. Like, I wasn't sure I was liking the stipple texture. And you can't see her face right now. I'll probably keep it in frame. Like maybe I'll put it in frame next stream, depending on how far I get on this shirt. But her face is in this kind of like, it's like this. It's like that. So it's like up at an kind of an angle, and then her mouth is open, and then like her nose, you can kind of see up it, and like like the pose in my head, and like the reference photo that I'm using, she looks really pretty. Like it's a really pretty pose, but drawing it kind of harder because it just kind of looks more like that. And that's not what I want it to look like. It's supposed to look like kind of just like peaceful and like soft. Like you know how people look when they're singing. Um so yeah, I like redrew her face a bunch of times. I posted about it on my Instagram. Someone was nice enough to DM me like a couple tricks for drawing mouth, which I appreciate, but also I was kind of like, listen, this wasn't a cry for help. I do know how to draw. I just am doing it over and over. I don't know. I was trying not to feel that way, but I did feel that way. Um, but yeah, like between not being sold on the texture that I chose and then having such a hard time with her nose and mouth, I was like, maybe I should just start this one over, do a different pose, spend more time thinking, like choose a different shirt, maybe something with like a pattern on it. But I had already at that point spent like 11 hours on this, and I'm trying not to just quit drawings anymore. I'm trying to stick with them. So I stuck with it, and that was like 10 hours ago, 10 drawing hours ago, a couple days ago. And I'm glad that I didn't start it over. I think I would have just been more annoyed. Like, I think I would have started it over and still not been happy with the way it looked and then just wasted more time. So I'm glad I'm starting to like working on this more now that I have a better idea of where it's going. And I did get the face to a point that I think doesn't look dumb. It still doesn't look exactly like her, but I think it'll look more like her once I actually like start adding these textures to it. Like right now it's just pencil lines. Ugh, I think starting a new drawing is the worst part. It's the ugliest and it's the most like dissatisfying because it doesn't look like what you have in your head. They're not all the same width. I did try when I was going through with the ruler to make them all the same size, but a few of them I just couldn't do it. And I figured like, okay, I'll just try to keep them all. They're like, I wanted them all to be like a centimeter, I guess. Maybe a little more. And I was like gonna try to just stick with that, but now that I'm actually making some progress, I don't think it's really necessary. Like there's some places where you can I can see nice. So there's some places where you can kind of see the line still. There, there, there. But I like that it's implied in places and not like how this looks, where it's just all the way down. I feel like that would be so ugly. Boop, 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 boop. I think my forearms are getting stronger from doing this. Last night when I hands, like my wrists maybe, like where's the camera? Like right here, whatever, was like actually cramping. It was getting tense and tight from all these dips. I wonder if like my one arm is going to be bigger than the other one. They look the same. That's good. But one probably is a little bit bigger. I think it's pretty typical that your dominant arm or hand is slightly, stronger, defined, kind of in the. Speaking of symmetry, I feel like that's another reason drawing people, like real people like working from a reference is weird. At least for me, because when I'm drawing, I'm thinking like, okay, the eyes should be symmetrical, like where the lips are should be exactly the same, but people don't actually look like that. So when I do make it perfectly symmetrical, it just looks weird. But it feels wrong drawing like eyes that aren't exactly alike and putting them on the same face. How people look. Ridiculous. 2021. How come we haven't figured that out? I guess there's surgery. But do people do that? Do people get surgery to make their faces more symmetrical? Like their eyes? Do people do that? They must. I don't know. I don't know what people do. Keep like looking up to see if someone's gonna say something. Just me. That's hard. Desk I'm working on this isn't my normal workspace. This is like my computer desk. And it's not like totally big enough for how big this page is. So it's a little awkward right now. Portrait is 19 by 14. And oh my God, like buying 19 by 24. And let me tell you, like I was so excited to buy 19 by 24. It's Bristol. Feels so good. Like you can tell like the way it takes ink. It's just smooth and it's nice and I love it. And the biggest size I could find was 19 by 24. I was kind of hoping to find like something a little bigger. Like I was almost even looking for like 24 by 36. I couldn't find that. So I got 2 packs of this and I was excited because the biggest thing I've ever done was like 18 by 24 and I just started that. So I was like hyped to do bigger drawings on nice paper. Except now I hate it. Well, I don't hate it, but it's kind of annoying because I've submitted some of these to shows and those shows are coming up and I don't have a 19 by 24 frame because that's not a standard size. 18 by 24 is a standard size. Why didn't I? But I didn't want to do 18 by 24. Like that's basic, you know? I want it to be a little bit bigger so that would stand out. But now I can't find like a ton of frames and the ones I can find are like expensive and I don't want to spend like hundreds of dollars right now. Just gonna have to. So annoying. Like why do we have to put frames on art at all? Like can't I just donate it or something? Or like can't you just be careful with it? Like why does it have to be framed? Like can't you just tape it up? Like I tape stuff up. Just looking at that frame, how big it is. I did have one that was like I did have a bigger one, but I got rid of it. Moved. I was just, when you're moving and you're just like, you hate everything you own and you're just sick of it and you'll throw away anything you don't absolutely need. So I threw that away. I should have kept it. It was kind of ugly. Fine. Go to like Walmart or something or Target. I thought Amazon would have more frame options, but they really don't. I mean, they do if you want to spend like $300 on like 2 frames. I know that that's not the best deal out there. I know it. Not doing that, Amazon. Get me. I'm just thinking about frames. I think I saw something where people were saying they like thrift for frames, but I just don't feel like that either because that takes time. That's not how I want to spend my time. I don't think I like shopping. I used to really like it, I guess, and then like I got used to online shopping. Even before COVID, I was mostly just ordering stuff online. And now it's like I got so used to ordering stuff online that when I go into stores, I'm just like, this is so inefficient. Like I have to walk around and look for something. Like I can't just put a filter on my eyeballs to like crop top brown and only see brown crop tops. Like I literally have to go into a section that says tops and go through every single shirt that other people have looked at and like touched. No, that's ridiculous. I can't believe that's still a thing. Some people like doing that. I don't like. I mean, it's nice that you can try them on, but is it worth it? Is it? I've never got out. No, that's not true. One time I bought a dress online, and in the picture, like, it looked really cute. It had these like poofy, and it just looked so cute. And when it came in the mail, I put it on, and I looked like a football player. I returned that. That was easy. Got my money back like right away. Like, yeah, I don't know. I bet you if I had tried that on in the store, I probably still would have bought it. Like, have you ever done that? Like, sometimes you're just like in the zone with shopping and you think it looks good, and those mirrors that they have and the lights that they have, like, you're like, yeah. And then you get home and you look at it in your peasant lighting with your dumb bathroom mirror, and you're like, oh my God, huge mistake. I look like a goblin. Even the same color I thought it was. You know what? There's a Seinfeld episode about that too. But yeah, I'm not really seeing the advantage of shopping in person with your body. Feels like a scam joke. That's like something that's a leftover relic. That's so 2020. But really it's not because stores weren't open. It's so 2019. Oh my gosh, my hand is getting tired. See how I feel when I get to the bottom of the row. Can't really see it, but I have like in pencil a circle right here. It says light, and that's kind of how I'm keeping track of where I need to fade in and out of, how dark my stipples should be. Dip, dip. Really good about how much I've done in this past hour. Like, didn't start here, Sure. But that's a lot. I could get it done. Do you think it'd be nice if I could like play music or something because of copy? See what other people like. Are other people talking the whole time? Because I'm losing my voice. Like, this is a lot. Would also probably be easier if my channel was a little bigger, and then I'd have like more people saying things, and they could say, and I could be like, yeah, and then, you know, right now it's just me talking to myself, and that's fine. I'm not complaining, just saying why it's a little different. That's probably why I'm losing my voice. The only talking I've like done today. I didn't have any meetings at work, and I didn't end up having that social thing, that coffee date. Oh, and you know what? I didn't drink coffee this morning because I thought I was going to be getting coffee this afternoon, and I didn't get coffee this afternoon. So once I'm done here, I'm totally going to make myself a cup of coffee. I probably should have made myself a cup of coffee before I started this because then I'd have more energy. But instead, I drank water like an idiot. Good for you, but what does it do? Or if I have like really strong fingers. I do a little powerlifting. I feel like this should be improving my grip strength, but I haven't really tested it lately. The last time I worked out without having like chalk with me, I was in Virginia. Um, and normally I live in Arizona, so it's not humid. Then in Virginia it was very humid and I didn't have chalk and I wasn't used to it and my hands were just so sweaty. And I was trying to deadlift, or I was deadlifting, but like I couldn't hold on to the bar. Like it sucked. And I felt so weak because like everyone else was in there and they're doing their weight and I'm like, yeah, I can do that weight too. And then I do like one rep and it's like slipping out of my hands and my dad was with me and I was like, yeah, I'm taking it like I'm taking a break, like my hands are so sweaty and he's like, it's not that hot in here. I'm like, but it is. It's like 200% humidity. Maybe you don't think it's hot. I think it's hot. So anyway, like where's my grip strength? I'm doing all these stipples. Like I feel my fingers getting a workout. So I feel like I'm justified blaming the humidity. Like obviously my hand's wrong. Look at all this. Wrong. Couldn't do this for an hour and 15 minutes straight with only a few water breaks. I mean, they probably could. I don't know. I don't know what people do. My whole arm, like elbow too. I think I'm noticing it more because normally when I'm stippling, I'm like watching TV and ow, I'm taking like little phone breaks. But streaming and drawing is different. Like I'm not really distracted. So all I'm thinking about is like, what the hickety heck am I gonna talk about so that people will be like, oh, she seems cool as I lose a viewer. That and just what my arm feels like. Yeah, I'm very aware of it right now. I think it'll get better. I mean, we'll do this. Also, I don't have to stipple for this whole portrait. Just the shirt, the skin. I don't think anything, I just really like the way stipples look for a skin texture. But I'm gonna make the skin look different than this shirt. Like when I do skin, it sounds creepy, skin. But when I do it, I make it much smoother. And that's another reason that I haven't been too overly concerned about like being able to see these lines because it's going to help differentiate the textures of the shirt stipple versus the face stipple and the hand stipples. So even though, like I was just saying, I'm being careful not to go too fast so it looks clean, like I'm not like killing myself about it. Like there's some spaces in between a lot of these. Actually, I'm gonna fix this. Like little gaps. But when I'm doing her face and stuff, I'm not gonna let that happen. So it'll look so smooth. It'll be amazing. I love doing. I think drawing faces and hands favorite. Crazy. I'm starting to really enjoy doing them, especially because I'm getting better at it. Nobody likes drawing stuff that they're not good at. I don't mind if at the bottom when it's supposed to be, oh, you can't see that. If it's supposed to be like black, I don't mind if the dots not being dots and are more just like me, like it's not lifting of off the page as much. As long as it lifts off the page a little bit. It looks so nice. Okay, I'm checking my phone. I'm getting like a ton of texts. Like I said earlier, normally I work on a different like drawing. I mean, because I like watching people stipple, but I don't know that everyone likes that. So I normally when I'm doing like lives and stuff, will work on my drawing that's like a bunch of eyes because I figure it's more interesting for people to watch me draw something that they can actually see what it is and it's not just like 1 billion dots and this like really weird shape. But sometimes I just hit like I get momentum with where it feels like my pen is just hitting paper exactly right. I've got this pattern where it's leaving like just the right amount of space between each dot, and I'm not having to think about it very hard and just the right shade. Everything is like flowing really quickly. And that was happening today right before I started streaming. And I was like, I don't work on anything else. I just kind of how this feels right now. It's just like butter, but not that like too cold, hard to spread butter. It's like, I don't know, like I can't believe it's not butter. Something where it's just like whoosh, smooth. There has to be something that's easier to cut through. Because butter really isn't that easy to cut through. Cake? Ice cream? No, ice cream is not easy. Cold. At a loss. I guess room temperature butter. We should just always specify room temperature. So that this like line down here isn't perfect, but it looks pretty good. So this part is kind of like her shirt has, I don't know what you'd call that, but it's like fabric, like here to here and then here to here. It looks really cute, but I don't know. um, I'm hoping that it doesn't look dumb when I actually stipple it in. It kind of looks dumb right now, these lines. Like, if I stipple in this direction, it's not gonna look like part of the same shirt. I think I need to go and match this, that it won't look, test it, but like, how am I gonna test it? That like potentially where it looks. I don't know if other people can tell, but I can tell where I've like switched directions on things. Like if I were to decide to go sideways instead of up and down, I would notice. I feel like everyone would notice. Like I think you could just tell with the way like the weight of the pen strokes. Just thinking out loud. I've got plenty of time. There's all this, like the side boob, the waist, and then can't quite see it. Oh my God, but there's like her right here, her like delt, and then her arm. There's a hand here. I can't believe it's so hard to see. I guess it's just the light hitting it. But so like all of this, I still need to fill in too. The sleeve cuts off right here. It's like a 3/4 sleeve. So if all this took me, move. Okay, but if all this took me 20 hours, I'd say it's still got another 20 hours left of this. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait till I have like the whole shirt filled in and it actually looks like something. Like I can't wait to take a picture of that because what this looks like right now, like to me, I think it looks really good, but it really also doesn't look like anything. But that's 90 minutes. I'm gonna take a break. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of the night. Definitely gonna eat something. But I want to do this again. So I don't know. I might get like really into this. I can see getting so I'm gonna end the stream now.